It's there! Holy moly, this one's going to go big.
Right, so here we are in the Mitre in Ramsey. We're going to try and do a little bit of like jumping around loads of different machines. We've got, I think this is an iPub 2. So we're going to try 20 quid on party time. And what I'm going to do is just, I think, probably just move around the games a little bit more than I usually do. And try and take in a few different things. We've got Centurion on here, which is quite, so that was 2 quid. We've got quite a few different games on here, so we'll move around a bit. This is, I cannot find, we've gone through basically everything on here. And, oh, a respin coming, oh, that was shit. Is that 2 quid? You can see there, I won 2 quid there, off 20 quid.
Stop playing that simple game, simpleton.
Sure, no, that's quite good, 2 wild picks, right. So that's saying, well, surely you, 2 wild picks, surely you just pick that one. Oh no, was that wrong? Did I just fuck up?
I don't know.
No, I don't think I did. I don't know. Right.
Oh, that's quite good.
Yeah, that's 20. That's me money back. Bonus spin. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. I'm a winner. You're a winner. I'm a tenner up. I had 2 bonus picks there. Could I have done better than that? No, that's it. I see. The problem is I don't really know these games. I don't really know these games on these. Oh, there we are. That's another 20 quid. So that's all right. So technically I am. There is a feature on this thing though. You can get a featurey type thing and it goes up. See there, you can get this. If you can get the party time symbols, you can go up to like a top game, which is quite good. And it's got the. I think if all 3 things go. See there. See where it's going red behind the reel. That's like a little tease thing. But then if you get a certain number of party time symbols, this would work a lot better if I knew what the fuck I was talking about. But how many is it? I've had it before. Oh, okay, we'll stick with it because this is still technically on my first 20 quid, isn't it? And then we'll move on. So see, I'm fucking that. They're the ones that you want, those party time symbols. So we'll move on because I do have a terrible habit of getting stuck on single games. It's very ruthless on £2 to go, isn't it? Didn't I have 50 quid though?
20 quid.
50, no, yeah, but at one point, yeah. Right, so, oh dear, there we go. Right, okay, well that's the first 20 quid gone. But at least that lasted 3 minutes. That's not bad, is it? Well, maybe we'll just try and see it out to a feature. Oh, there we are. So I've got 1. So on that one, it's obviously there, isn't it? Because nothing else makes sense. Because nothing else can make a win there. I'm just wondering if you have more wild picks, if you can do something better than that. So that there is your feature. See there, that's like a mini sort of feature thing. And now I get 1 wild pick, so I get some symbols like that. So just look at every time it spins, sometimes you'll see like an orange background.
Yeah.
Look for that. Okay. Like there, so there's 1, 2. 1, 2, like that. And then when you get 3, you get a wild pick thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was what we wanted there with the part. So that was, well, okay. We can afford 1 more spin. Right, okay. I'm sure I said to start with that we would move around the machines a bit and try some different things, but okay, so autoplay 10. Okay, there we go. So now, so 1 wild pick. So the only one that I mean, I don't know what happens there if you pick the obviously wrong one. Oh, so there you go. It does it for you. It does it. You're right. Okay. Bonus spin. So, and that just no. Oh, bonus spin again. Oh, that could be okay. Is that? Oh, I don't know what
So
trick.
bonus spins.
I don't know. Okay, so it's better than a poke in the eye, I suppose. What I want to do is get one of those. Can you see there that little party time bonus? Because that's quite good fun when you get it. It's like a top reels kind of thing. I think that's the
I mean, it
only.
keeps going. Is that actually in play or is that not in play?
It's
It's down here.
it's what we need. However, it may or may not happen. Is to get into the party time bonus. Do we need a certain number of... I played this once while the guy from Desert Island Fruits was over, and it was dead easy. I got it straight away, but it's not doing it this time. Oh, there we are. So we've got a win there. So we've got two. So I don't think... Wouldn't we just do...
Me there. for some reason.
No.
Oh,
Well,
okay, sorry.
if we leave it, does it do it by itself?
Just give me middle. Oh.
No, and then the middle? Sure, it's going to be in middle now. If we just leave it, it picks the right one. It's surely going to pick middle there. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Doesn't really make any difference. So... Okay, I mean, it's not doing terribly, is it? But we haven't had a feature yet. I think the problem we've got here is it's basically only one feature, which is the party time feature, which is quite good. When I got it that one time, it was quite nice. Oh, that would have been a nice one. Because the 7s are 20 quid. Right, okay, you know what?
It's just random when you get the
Yeah,
average back.
you know what? Let's play. Let's try something different. Where are we? Where was that fucking Centurions one? There it is, Centurion Maximus. I quite like this one. There's quite a lot of features. This is the closest to like a Wormsy type one.
Okay.
This is, if I would have to say, for an equivalent from this provider, because this is not Blueprint, this is a different provider from the other one. So I would say this is the closest to a Worms style game. We have to go on £2 to go to get 92%, which is a bit annoying. See there's your psst.
Oh, is it?
That's him, and he fucked us there. So you watch out for that little slow spin. You've got your 3 scatters icons as well. There he comes, there it goes, right. Super bonus for us. So that should hopefully give us a feature. Good chance here of getting a feature. 1, 2, come on, you fucker. Yes, that's it. Right, so there we are. We've got a feature. But you do want more scatters on this to make the features better. So we've got the basic feature on this one, which is a bit of a shitter. What have we got? Caesar's free spins. And now we do a spin on that. So there's the higher the numbers, the better, basically. That is really shit. 8 at 1 is not great. Not very happy with that one.
One's just normal spins, aren't they?
Yes, basically. All wins 1x. Okay, we've got 3 quid there. I mean, it's kind of limited on what it can do here. The reels aren't too bad on this one. The reels can give some decent wins, even when there's not much else going on. Look, what was that? 13 quid. Okay, so we can afford 8 spins. And get back in. I mean, it can drop in some reasonably big things out of nowhere with your little guy there. But the problem is on £2 to go, it can shaft you very, very quickly. Okay, so that's that then. I think it's going to have to be another 20. What's that? Is that 80 or 100?
I don't know, I was kicking.
Okay. Well, we have to keep our 92% payout, I suppose. And hopefully we'll get a little bit of a kickback at some point. These, please don't do a 10 dead spins. These really hurt you. Is that going to do? That was a 10 dead spins, so you don't want them. I mean, you know, slightly risk of stating the obvious, but... Okay, there we go. That was a 10 dead spins 20, which we fucking do not want. Well, let's see. Bonus chance there? No. At least it's not a zero pay like the last one. I mean, this is no better or worse than worms or whatever it is, so... Ooh, there'll be a bit of something there with those wilds. What's that going to make? Yeah, 14 quid. No, it wasn't even that, was it? It was a win. Donk, 2 quid. Oh, go on. Feature will be nice there. We've got 2 scatters on reel, 1 and 2. Is it going to come in? It's not, is it? Nope. Dick does. Hi, Dan. How's it going, fella? Just making a look at the old content for YouTube there. So it's not going so good. Oh, there you know, your little man's turned up. Like Reelus Maximus, that sounds like a big win coming in, doesn't it? How's it going, Nancy? Hang on, you never know.
I'm just saying it can give you nothing. You're playing the worst game ever.
It can be. Oh. So just.
I had 760 out of yesterday.
Did you? Well, it's random, Dan, so it doesn't matter. It's random. It says it's random. The law says it's got to be random.
Yeah.
So here we go. Off camera to the right is my former partner in crime, Dan, who we used to tromp the pubs of Ramsey back in the day. Well, what did you recommend then, Dan? Go on, pick me a winner. Any suggestions? Right, how about Dolphin's Pill?
Wow.
What?
I get a future off that. You got 500 quid of it.
Well, no. Is this one of the 90% ones? What was that? 88. 88%. Okay, maybe not that one then. I think we can do better than that.
Seems good.
Go on, pick a winner.
Get a future. That's the only one he'll win on if you get it. If it wants to pay.
Lucky Lotus, that's your suggestion.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
You've got to press enter into fortune spin.
Enter for what do I get for that?
£5 when you get a wheel, but it's hard to get. The thing is, the future always pays like 200-300 quid.
Hang on, how much is it going to cost me to get a
This is
feature?
what I'm saying. If it's happy, it'll pay.
So what do I get? What's a fortune spin then?
It gets times 2, 3, 5.
Right, so if I press that now, what's it going to do? Just like eat 20 quid?
Probably, yeah. You need a £5 win or 3 scats.
Okay.
But like I say, the future always pays, if you know what I mean. It's just getting the future.
That was great.
Welcome to the new machine. I put £2 in one last week.
£2,000.
I never got a win over 100 quid.
That's... So even normal wins are fuck all. Oh, did I get anything for that? Or
You need to get a win over £5.
Jesus.
So you need a lady up there.
Oh well, okay. Right. We'll try something else. How about Cops and Robbers Bank Buster? There's got to be something here. There's got to be something here that'll give us. How about Golden Real King Potty? I'm gonna. All right then. Yeah, but I mean, it sounds shit though. How about one of these slot rainbow gold?
It's not bad for features, but they don't pay.
Okay, well we'll give it a go. I mean, in nonsense, Dan, it can't be any worse than what it's doing up to now. So, right, here we are. Oh, the pots are quite good though, aren't they?
Honestly, you put 500 pound in the machine now, in seconds, well, half an hour.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why. Me and we were just talking there. It's like I only put in what I come out with. Like I don't do any kind of mad reinvestment or anything like that because they are mental.
See in the casino now the big progressive jackpots.
No.
You go, people playing at 50p, 75p for 28,000, and they do pay them. We've got all new machines up there.
I haven't been in the casino for years and years and years.
Saying £2 a spin here to win 500, and you can win 40 grand in the casino for £2 a spin.
What RTP are they on there? What percentage?
92.
92. So it's the same as this then. I don't. Well, no, because some of these are at 90. Even on there, they're at 90.
Some of them are random games.
And we were down in the Central before. Some of them are like 91. Even on £2 a go, they're on 91.
They're the worst in random you can play.
Right. That's.
So you can also feature by playing fortune spins and all that and carrying as well.
Yeah, but they can just absolutely destroy you as well.
They're not playing the old machines like them, they will pay eventually.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
You're only playing them because of the brighter lights.
I've been dazzled by modern technology, Dan. That's a problem.
It's a blue light trapped in it.
Oh, there we are. Feature. Come on.
You haven't got feature.
You're not wrong. Right, we'll just carry on. I'm not even pretending to count at this point. This is kind of... None of these have paid absolutely fuck all, have they? They have all been absolutely desperate. Oh, there we are. Right, feature. See, Dan, I'm going to win it all back.
See the old machines, you get 5 gates and win 500.
When was that? When's that from?
Wednesday.
Where was that?
In the comment.
Well, because they're all breaking though now, aren't they? That's the problem. All these old games now are breaking.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, there we are. Rainbow Gold.
when Fred was like,
No.
stuffing the ball
Fucking hell.
Them ones have got to pay. These can take £3 before they pay. Them ones, 1,500 quid. It might pay jackpot.
Well, we'll stick with this now.
You're on the phone.
I am. Like the warning says, Dan, when the fun stops, I'll stop.
They can go for like 1,200 if they want. You'll have to send me a link to the YouTube.
It'll
You
be.
gotta edit it first.
Well, this won't take much editing, will it? Oh, come on. Just give us a fucking feature, will you? You fucking... Yes, I know that. Oh man, this is fucking shite, isn't it?
You want to stick with this one?
Oh, there we are, 5 of a kind. No, I'm a winner.
You got a gamble now. If you want to.
Oh, I'm not
Bring
fucking.
one goal. Have one goal.
No, because you always fucking lose them. Oh, I've just gone to the info screen by accident. Back. That's the problem. That just goes to show, was that the first win I had over fucking £5?
Just whoever wants to play this game.
There you go, what's that there?
755.
There you go, I'm going to get that. It's just a matter of time, Dan. You just need to have a little bit more faith.
Do I have to go to the bank for it?
When it's gone, it's gone. So Dan is slightly off camera there, but when did we used to go back round the pubs, Dan? Was it the early 2000s?
20 years ago.
It was 20 years ago. We used to go around doing the £25 jack. Was it even £15 jackpot machines when we started? That lot of luck in the... no, it was a lot of luck. It was definitely a lot of luck in the Victoria Snooker Club. That was on a £15 jackpot. So yeah, a long time. This is fucking shite. Just one feature would be nice. Oh, there we are. What's that? £5.
Feeling like you're getting your money's worth.
Absolutely, I'm having fun now. Wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't fun, you know that.
Hope your YouTube channel brings you money.
Bring me upon me.
Hey? I'm just looking for it. I had one on here for 1400, but I think
This is terrible, isn't it? Well, okay. I mean, allegedly, this is one of the random ones, so...
Casino, £14 for £1.50.
When was that?
June 23rd.
Better than this, that's for sure. I'm an optimist, Dan. I believe that good things are going to happen.
Playing the 250X machine.
I know that. I know that. Fucking hell. That's fucking... Well, that is, Dan. Is it not?
This is it on the last one. Long one. Just like trail one anyway.
Yeah, no, it'll probably pay like 20 quid if I even get it. I think we do have to slightly question the sanity of this. If this takes the last 20 quid, that is £300 gone.
It's giving you nothing, is it?
Fucking hell.
Was this the one you wanted to play with?
28,000 off 75p bet casino Isle of Man.
When was that recent? Well, don't worry, Dan, because what you're going to see in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to win £28,000 out of this. And I will have the last laugh. You don't seem convinced. Right, well, that's it. That's fucking 300 quid gone. And I've not even been filming for fucking 30 minutes. So this has got the potential here to be pretty bad. Well, this has got to go down as one of the worst.
You like the 3 pints considering the foot.
Man, that is so bad. Nah, it's alright, Dan, you're okay. Cheers, mate. It's alright, we're going to win it. Fuck me. That's it. That is it.
It was nothing.
That is... Fuck me. So that was 25 minutes. 25 minutes, and that has hosed through £300.
Nothing. Wouldn't even like
And
go
I
up
mean,
down.
4 of these things in a single pub. Like, how much do you think the bar is taking? This,
Because that was like 92%.
and this thing has just taken 300 quid.
Getting 92%.
Under half an hour, £300 gone. Nice work if you can get it. Well, that wasn't very impressive, was it? So let's have a little bit of a summary of the session. Not that it'll take very long. First of all, I'll just explain the beeps to you. Those little bleep outs in there. I was chatting to Dan as I was playing, and there were names mentioned and probably a couple of things that could be considered accusations as well. So probably not something that should be going in a public video on YouTube. So for everyone's safety, I just removed those from the video. Safe to say that Dan has some opinions about the machines in the pub. Dan was I did mention it there, he was my playing partner back in the early 2000s. We had some big sessions out around town, and we'd jump in my car and drive out as well and travel to play the machines. That was, back end of the £15 jackpot days into the £25 jackpot days. Spent a lot of time out and about in the pubs in Ramsey and surrounding areas. And I still bump into him. He's still in town, and we always say hello to each other and have a little chat. But as you can see, he was offering helpful advice there along the lines of, do you want me to go to the bank for you? And are you having fun yet? And such like. But you heard some of the numbers that he was talking about there. These £500 jackpot machines, they can take some big amounts of cash, and the things that he was showing me there on his phone were wins from the casino here in Douglas. And the point that he was making was the machine that you're playing now has got a 250x jackpot, 500 quid, and you've got to play a £2 spin to get it, whereas down the casino you can win massively more as a multiplication of your stake. So I will get onto that because there's something that I want to show you in relation to that. But basically the session was the Swan. We started in the Swan. It was just about okay to sit outside yesterday. It wasn't a great day weather-wise, but they do have a beer garden at the back there. We sat in there for a bit, then we went inside for a bit. Didn't play the machine at all. They've got one £500 in there. It's a King of Games cabinet, which I didn't play at all. So we were in the Swan for a bit. Then we went over to the Central. Now, it looks a little... There we are. Is that a more... Oh, that's how it looked back in 2010. It shut for a while, the Central. I think COVID did it in. But it's recently reopened under new management. It's really nice in the Central now. Very pubby pub. And if you go down the side here, they've got a pool room off to the side at the back here. We got that to ourselves. We had some money on the jukebox, few beers in there. We stayed in there for quite a while. They've got two £500 cabs. I was playing in there with Boulder Dash in the video when he was over. We spent quite a while in there. But again, I didn't play the machines at all in there. Then we walked down. The Google car is supposed to be coming round again. Why is that fucked up? So yeah, we walked down Parliament Street here, down to all the way. We went to the Plough later on, but I didn't play the machine in there either. They've got one in there, I think, but I didn't play in there, partly because I had no money left, because it all went in. Fuck me, why is this thing so bad? Just, there we are. The place where I played the machines is in here, which is the Mitre. That is the place with the little mini casino in the foyer there with the 4 machines in it. And that's where I did £300 in 25 minutes. You saw it in the video there. It was absolutely brutal. Absolutely nothing going on. Probably one of, I think I said it during the actual gameplay, I would say that is possibly the quickest and most brutal kicking I have ever had on the random 500s. It wasn't much fun. And it did slightly leave me wondering what the point of those is, because we were out for about 8.5 hours. I was only playing the machines for those 25 minutes that you can see there. I wasn't particularly asked about playing them anywhere else. I wasn't even asked about playing them in the Mitre, to be honest. I only said, oh, well, go, let's have a go on the machine. So I was more than happy out just having an evening out at the pub with me mates. It was like that the machines didn't have to be a part of it. And it just feels like such a waste of money. I mean, I can afford it, so let's be clear about this. And I realise 300 quid is a little chunk of change, but I can afford it. It's not a problem in terms of the actual money, but it does just feel like a silly way to bin £300. And it does make me wonder if the next time we go out, if I'm even going to bother taking cash with me. Just take a little bit of money for pool and jukebox and maybe just bin these machines off, because £2 a spin to get 92% on machines that can only pay back 250 times your stake is not a good deal. Some of the comments that have been made on the videos and over at Desert Island Fruits as well is that it's incredibly hard on these machines to even get these very small jackpots without doing the gamble. Like they pay the jackpot so rarely if you just play them normally, particularly these newer ones, that you've got to go in on £2 a go. You're only getting 92%, and you've got to gamble your wins to get the jackpot. What I've also noticed as well is that the percentages are just creeping down a little bit. On the cab down in the central, right the way down there, I had a look at the games on there. I didn't play anything. What I've noticed now is that on £2 a go, some of the games now are only going up to 91%. Instead of 92%. 92% is already bad enough. Remember that I covered that quite extensively in that video there. A lot of stats in that video. The gambling is now very expensive video, where I showed to you very, very clearly how these adjustments in RTP, once you start to get down from 96 to 95 to 94 and so on, by the time you're getting to 92, 91 and 90, your expected loss becomes really quite large. And what I've noticed in the pubs now is that we seem to be dipping down to 91 or even 90, even if you're putting the £2 a play on. And there was one there that you saw on the help screen, which was 88%, which is just awful for a random game. And I am now slightly wondering if I can just be arsed with it, because it didn't add anything to the session at all. We all enjoyed ourselves. There was 4 of us out, spent a lot of time just yapping. We were sat down in one of the pubs. We had the pool table, had some music on the jukebox, all that good stuff. And yet, plopped sort of in the middle of it. Once I'd had a couple of beers on board, I was like, oh, go on, let's have a go on the gambler. Just 300 quid for absolutely fucking nothing. And just to put some sort of context around that, recently I bought a new graphics card for my main gaming PC, and I settled on the RTX 5070 Ti. I got that model there, which cost me £740. I was umming and ahhing about getting an RTX 5080, but I thought, you know what, 5070 Ti, it's got most of the performance of the 5080 for quite a chunk less cash, and I couldn't bring myself. Can you see over on the left-hand side here, we've got the RTX 5080s. They're going for about £1,000, and I got a 5070 Ti for 740 quid, and I thought I'll save myself the 260 quid less, and it's most of the way there. But then you think about it, yesterday, 300 quid in 25 minutes, and I was going, I can't bring myself to spend over £1,000 on a graphics card. And yet, just like that, poof, in 25 minutes, the difference between a 5070 Ti and a 5080 has just gone in the machine for absolutely no entertainment, no fun, no payback, nothing. And it just makes me feel a little bit daft in that regard. It's like, why would you consider, no, I'm not going to get the 5080, I'll get the 5070 Ti. Oh, there's 300 quid in the machine, poof, gone, just like that. It all feels a bit stupid, if I'm honest with you. And it ties into what Dan was saying there, is like, look, you can play fucking machines down at the casino, £1.50 a spin, £2 a spin, and you've got a chance of winning thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. Don't fucking grind away at these things. You heard some of the numbers there that he's seen 1,500 quid, £2,000 go into them before they've kicked anything substantial back. It's really, really miserable on £2 to go, 92%, because you don't need much of a bad run, as you saw there, and you've lost 300 quid in under half an hour. And I think that's a bit daft. My sort of head now is getting to the places, machines like that do not really belong in the pub. That is not just a bit of pub entertainment. There was one section in that video where I got 10 dead spins and it was 20 quid gone in under 30 seconds. And that's just an insane rate of loss. To actually be able to lose £20 in a machine in the pub in under 30 seconds just seems crackers to me. And I'm now at the point, just from a pure sanity perspective and how I feel about it now. After that, it was just, at the end of it, I didn't even feel anything. At the end of it, I was just like, well, that was bit daft, wasn't it? And just went back and said, it was just like, you could chop that 25 minutes out of the eight and a half hours we were out for. You could just chop that 25 minutes out of it. Nothing would really change, and I'd have 300 quid in my pocket. So I'm not entirely convinced if I'm going to bother with that in the future, because it's at the point now where I'm thinking that's not worth it. It's not worth the risk of money that you are staking for the potential reward that you get back. And it crosses the line into me. There's no level on which that you can argue that, oh, well, it's entertainment, it's a bit of fun. And you saw that if you watch that video there, it's not very long because there's only 25 minutes of gameplay. I think anyone in the world would be hard pushed to watch that and say, well, that looks like fun. And to put a bit of extra context around that, one of the things that I started plugging away at was a game called Who's the Bride? It's a clone of Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive is a fairly famous online slot, and it is very well known for its ability to put in what they call the wild line. Who's the Bride is a clone of it, which you can play at video slots, and the reason you want to play Who's the Bride is that they've got Who's the Bride at full RTP, whereas they've dropped Dead or Alive down to a 94% model. So you know what they say, show don't tell. So here is Dead or Alive over at video slots. And this is on, can you see at the top there, the theoretical return to player for this game is 94.03%. Not great for an online slot, but far better than you can get in the pub. And remember, as per that video there, this thing makes a lot of difference to your expected results. But Dead or Alive, 94.03%. Let's load in Who's the Bride. Okay, so here is Who's the Bride just loading in. And Who's the Bride is a straight clone, like a literal straight clone. Now, in the truest sense of the word, that these are exactly the same game, just with a different skin, with a different theme. But the big one for Who's the Bride is if we go down, can you see there? The theoretical return to player for this game is 96.82%. And again, referring back to that video there, if you didn't watch that one, maybe just have a look at it, because I do go through the numbers and explain how hugely important RTP is to you as the player. It's why playing £2 to go on 90% or 92% can be so ruinous. And if you can find games online which do, as you can see here, this is live at video slots now, where we've got a 96.82% RTP, and that is a house edge of just 3.18%. And I set myself the task of getting a wild line. Now, what I'll do here is show you a video of how this thing works. So the base game, the normal play, let's have a look. This is my footage, by the way. This is Bandicam footage of my gameplay. Please forgive the judderiness of it. That's because I have my Bandicam set to a very low frame rate when I'm recording. Because I record all my online play, I want to try and keep the file sizes down. So it doesn't look like this when you're playing it normally. It's lovely and smooth when you're playing it normally. So the base game here is absolutely fuck all. That it's all about the feature for this. The base game very, very rarely pays anything of note. It will sort of keep you in the game, but it won't do much of anything in the main. You can see here, by the way, that my bet is 18 pence. Look there at the bottom middle of the screen. You can see that I am on an 18p spin. Now, here is a 3 scatters trigger. And so you get a little bit of a pay for the 3 scatters trigger. Then you go into the free spins round. Now, the big thing with this game is getting what is known as a wild line. This game has sticky wild. So when a wild lands, it sticks on the reels for the rest of the free spins round. As you can see, there aren't necessarily a huge amount of them going to land. Sometimes you will go an entire free spins round without a single wild landing on the reels, but there's a couple that have landed. Now, can you see that they then stick for the rest of the round? Any of the wild symbols that land, they will stay in place for the rest of the round. Now, the idea is that you want to get one of them on each reel. If you get a wild on each of the 5 reels, you get a retrigger. You get a bonus 5 spins, but there's only 9 win lines here. It's not a 2-4-3 way or anything like that. So you've only got 9 win lines, and you can easily get a retrigger without having a wild line. So the idea, and what I'll do is I'll show you that. So this is a shit feature. There you go. That was, and believe me, you will see a lot of those. You will see a lot of shit features on this thing. That is very much a normal sort of feature. That wasn't even 10x, was it? And like I say, you'll see a lot of them in your... If you decide to have a go at this, be aware that you're going to see a lot of dead features. But also bear in mind that I can choose my stake here, so I am able to play this on an 18p spin, and I get that 96.82%. Right, so here we are going into another feature. And what I'll show you here, again, this is my Bandicam footage. What I'll show you here is a feature where you do get the retrigger, but you don't get the wild line. So there's 2 things that you really need. First of all, you want the retrigger, but you also want the retrigger with a wild line. So let's have a look on this one. This will do a retrigger. So first of all, need to get the wilds landing. You saw on that shit feature there that sometimes you will go a whole feature without a single wild landing. On the one that I just showed you, I got 2 wilds, but they basically did fuck all. So there's 2 wilds, and as you can see, as soon as a wild land, it sticks. And there's no limit to how many you can have on the reels. But even when you get a retrigger, as you will see here, it doesn't necessarily guarantee anything amazing. Because of where those wilds have landed there on reels 2 and 3, they are at least guaranteeing me 3 of a kinds on a spin. So there, can you see, I've got 4 of the reels with a wild, but they're not on win lines. You can see there that the lines are coming up to show what the win lines are. They are not making a wild line, because that's what you really want here, is 5 of those on a win line. So there, I've got 3, and they are on a win line. But the problem I've got there is that the ones on 4 and 5 are not making a win line. But that will now give me the retrigger, because I've now got a wild on each of the 5 reels. So you see there at the bottom, it's now saying plus 5 free spins. Now, the holy grail on this is that you get the wild line to do your 5 wilds. So imagine if in this scenario here, move the one on reel 4 up 1, and move the one on reel 5 down 1, and that would then be what we call a wild line. That is 5 of a kind on the wilds, which are the top paying symbol, and they stick. That's the critical thing. So every single spin, they will just stay where they are and give you a pay for 5 wilds on a 2x multiplier. You also get the retrigger. Once you get all 5 reels with a wild on, you get another 5 free spins. So if you can get a wild line in place, you can potentially have spin after spin after spin where you are just getting 5 wilds on at least 1 win line every single spin, and that is where those big pays can come from on this. It's not working very well here because I haven't got a win line. So here come my extra free spins. Because I've got the 5 wilds, after my 12 free spins, I get an extra 5 free spins. But the problem remains that I don't have 5 wilds on a win line. So this is not a terrible feature. It is at least paying a bit of something. But you can see the issue here. I'm getting 4 of a kinds because I've got those 3 wilds there. It's making 4 of a kinds with whatever symbol comes in on reel 5. And it's made a 5 of a kind there, and another wild has landed. It can't re-trigger twice, by the way. And that's not a terrible pay. You would say that that's not a bad bonus round, but do be aware that those ones are hard to get. The re-trigger rounds, I've only had 2 normal re-trigger rounds in all my time of playing this game, and it was doing a piece of work on me. Indeed, this is where I ended up with it. After 45,430 spins through it, I was running at 83% RTP. And what I was doing is periodically, you can see this thread started back in January, and I was February rather, and I was periodically doing a £100 deposit, and my goal was I'm going to camp this bastard out for a wild line. It's well known in gambling circles that this game will never really do RTP for you unless you get... There's 5 scatters. One of the big pays on this game is 5 scatters. The other one is the wild line. If you don't get either of those, you're going to be permanently sat somewhere between 12 and 14% below RTP, and that was the situation that I found myself in. So if we pick it up again, this is from later on in the same session where I had that re-trigger round. So the gameplay that you're watching here, in over 45,000 spins, I had only had 2 re-trigger rounds, and neither of them had done a wild line, and I was trailing very, very badly on my RTP on this game. So there is a 3 scatters trigger. The vast majority of your features on this will be 3 scatters. I've had a few 4 scatters. That's just a bit more of a pay for the trigger. 5 scatters is super rare, but that's a very big pay. It's like 2,500 times stake. So here we go. It was very much looking like a normal feature. So we'll just watch this as it comes in. So far, so much the usual. You see this from time to time. You see it come in with few wilds like that. So they're stacking up, but I'd learned not to get my hopes up on this thing because you get promising reel setups and then just nothing comes of it. Remember what we're looking for. We're looking for a wild on every single reel, hopefully making a win line. But you only get 12 free spins. They melt away pretty quickly, so I wasn't particularly expecting anything great off this. I'd seen this so many times, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of features, and I hadn't had a wild line. You can see I'm running out here. So now at this point in time, you can see that we're getting a little bit of potential here, but we're still missing 2 wilds. I'd had situations on this where I just needed a final wild to drop in to make the wild line, and it just wasn't doing it. So even in this real setup here, frankly, you wouldn't be getting your hopes up. But then, all of a sudden, it does that. Now, can you see with those 2 wilds dropping in there and there, it's immediately made not 1, but 2 wild lines. Can you see? It's that win line there. So it's bottom, bottom, middle, bottom, bottom. And then, of course, the win line, the normal win line along the bottom row there. And each of those on an 18p spin, can you see there, pays 60 quid. So that real configuration there is £120 for the 2 wild lines, 6 quid for that 4 of a kind there, and just the bits along the top. Now straight away, remember, those wilds are locked. So two things has just happened with those two wilds dropping in. Let's just go back a little bit. So there, from that real configuration there, which is essentially paying fuck all, really, from that, just watch them come in and watch the immediate massive difference that it makes. Boom. That there is 126, what, £126.50 or so. Straight away. And they are all now locked. They are locked, and I have just secured the retrigger. So what that means... For now, the rest of the spins of the normal round and the entire retrigger, that is now guaranteeing me £126 a spin from an 18p bet size. So look at that amount. Can you see the win stacking up? Now, on the next spin, they all just stay where they are. There's also, look at this spot here on the middle right. That is a 5 of a kind spot. So we're looking for a premium symbol there, but it didn't come. But every single spin is paying that £126 baseline. Then, because I've got the 5 wilds, I get the retrigger, and they are all going to stay where they were. This is pretty much a dream scenario here, because I have got 2 wild lines. That's the big deal here. So there's another £126 or £127 on that spin. On that one, can you see it's put a premium symbol on reel 5. So that one there is 60 plus 60 plus 40 plus that little bit there. And look at the win adding up, the total win for the round, adding up down at the bottom there. 2 wild lines in place before the retrigger, and you can see how that is stacking up. I mean, this would be, by the time we got one more spin left, let's have a look where it finishes. And it's put a premium symbol there, and you can see there that has paid £1,072.70 from an 18p spin. As a multiplication of stake, that is 5,959 times stake. And one of the comments that you heard Dan make in the pub there was you're playing a 250x jackpot machine. So not only is the jackpot shit, you've got to do a massive stake to get the inverted commas top RTP of 92%, and you can only win 500 quid. Here, we've got an online slot with an RTP of 96.82%, which is fixed, doesn't change with your stake. So I can get that 96.82% with an 18p spin, and it is capable of chucking out a win. Look at that amount there. £1,072.70 from an 18p spin. That is the kind of difference that we can see between, frankly, the slightly garbage machines that you get in the pub and what is available to you in, say, a proper casino or online slots. Now, that balance there was no bonus in play or anything like that. I submitted that as a withdrawal to video slots. Video slots, in fairness, are very, very good on withdrawals, as long as your documents are up to date and all that shit. In my experience, they never dick you about on withdrawals. I submitted that entire balance there as a withdrawal request, and it was paid within 10 minutes. They had £1,146 back to me in 10 minutes. Now, if you're sort of following my train of thought here, you can probably see where I'm going with this mentally, which is, I'm starting to think that these ones in the pub just aren't worth it. That's from the session out with Boulder Dash. That was the pub where they just locked everything down to 90%. What I've always said with these things is they're a bit of fun for a one-off when you're out and about anyway, and you take the hit on the fact you have to do big bets, and you take the hit on the fact that you're getting a pretty crappy RTP. But after yesterday, I'm just wondering now if the smartest thing to do is bin them completely, because they make no sense. In a world where that exists, in a world where I can play online get 96.82% on any stake that I want, and play games that are capable of paying thousands of times your stake. Remember, in the pubs in the UK, you're capped to 100 times your stake. £1 to go with a £100 jackpot. And as you've seen in Hyperlinks' videos, if you watch Hyperlinks, you really have to go balls to the wall on the gamble to even get the £100 jackpot. What we've seen over here, I mean, I've done quite a bit of play on these things over the years. The only machine I have ever had a natural jackpot on in the pubs here is the venerable Ocean's 11. There's Ocean's 11. That is the only machine that I have ever had a natural jackpot on. None of these modern cabs have ever paid a natural jackpot for me. Ocean's 11 has, and Ocean's 11 likes to do 100, 150, 250x wins with reasonable regularity. And in the video from last night, you can hear Dan actually talking about you're better off playing those old ones. So where I'm at with this now is I'm thinking that the shitty machines in the pubs don't really make any sense, even for someone who just enjoys a bit of a flutter, likes to have a little bit of a gamble. I'm now of the mindset, I don't think I'm going to bother with these anymore. I think probably the next time we go out for our sort of pub day, our pub session together, I think I'll probably just take 20 quid for pool and jukebox and leave it at that, because after having watched £300 disappear yesterday as quickly as it did, it's just left me with a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. I will still have a gamble. I'll still have a little punt. But what I'm going to do is carry on playing at 3 dice and carry on playing stuff like Who's the Bride. Now, that there is a little bit too volatile for me, but at least it kicked back a huge chunk of my investment in it. Just the slight kicker in the tail. And I can't tell Porky Pies here. The absolute truth is that even after that win, let me go. We had a good long chat about this over at Casino Meister. Can you see there that even after I'd just won over £1,000 from an 18p spin at 47,244 spins, my RTP was only 96.03%. So in the interest of complete transparency, even after that win there, I was still a bit down on it. So that there is a very good example of an extremely volatile game. I knew that I was getting involved with something a bit spicy when I started. It was only once I'd properly started going through, watching it munch through a few deposits on 18p spins, that I realised that I'd perhaps bitten off more than I wanted to chew. So once I finally landed that big one, you can see I reported about it over at Casino Meister. You can see there 5,959x. But I was still down on it. I haven't played that since. That is literally the last spin I did on this game was that win there. I closed it down and made a withdrawal. I haven't been back to it since, and I've said over at Casino Meister, I don't think I'm going to tussle with that again because it's a bit too spicy for me. But just the other day, I was playing this one here at Video Slots, which is called Imperial Fruit. It's quite a simple. I quite like I do like these simpler games. But if we go down the pay table here, if we go down to the bottom, can you see there? RTP 96.71%. And once again, I can get that on a 20p spin. It's like, why would you play £2 to go in the pub to get 92% on a machine that can never pay more than 500 quid when you can get 96, nearly 97% playing online? One option that you have, by the way, if you're a UK-based player, because not everything may be available to you. I'm a little bit weird in what I get offered to me in terms of online casinos, because the Isle of Man falls into a little bit of a weird grey area, and I certainly get games offered to me at Video Slots that are not offered to UK players. However, one thing that you do have available to you as a UK player is this place here called Slots Temple, which is currently undergoing its baptism of fire over at Casino Meister. That is the precursor to becoming an accredited casino. Now, before I say any more, let me be clear here. I don't in any way want to encourage anyone to gamble. What I'm saying here is that if you're going to have a gamble, as I do, because I like to have a gamble, let's do it the smart way. Let's play the highest RTP games where we can play bets that we're comfortable, rather than this fucking trash in the pubs on bullshit RTPs and massive stakes that'll fucking hoop through £300 in 25 minutes. Fuck that shit. Let's not do it. Let's play a little bit smarter. So this place here is available, and they are running all the top RTPs, and they are available to UK players. So you will get the best maths model that is available. Now, here it is. I have signed up for an account, but this is one where it's worked against me with being on the Isle of Man. It will let me sign up for an account, but only a kind of free account where I can join tournaments and stuff. I can't actually deposit and play. But if you're a UK player, you will be able to play at this as a normal casino. I am not in any way affiliated with Slots Temple at all. However, the feedback from them over at Casino Meister has been very good. They're not dicking players around on getting withdrawals or anything like that. And the big hook is this thing here, our RTP guarantee. And at Slots Temple, we have promised our customers that we will always offer the highest possible RTP on our real money slots. So where multiple maths models are available, they will always run the highest one. One of the examples there is the play and go slot called Book of Dead. That is around on all kinds of maths models. There's a 94, there's a really shit one, a 91, which you will see some casinos run. That 91% maths model, which is fucking garbage. But at Slots Temple, they're running it on the top 96.21% maths model. And where higher RTPs are available, they've got some games on 98%. There are some net-ent slots that they're running at 98% RTP. Now, to be clear here, this is still gambling, it's still playing random games with a house edge, and you're still going to lose your money over time. Given enough time, it will take all your money off you. We need to be clear about that. That's always going to happen playing random games with a house edge. I covered that in some detail. In the Gambling Is It Now Very Expensive video, but there is a huge variation in how that can happen. So, as you saw on the video from yesterday and that video there, these things will take your money off you very, very quickly, whereas even something like Dead or Alive, it's massively, Who's the Bride here, massively volatile, but that was, like £100 deposit playing 18p spins, even on a really bad losing session, that would still last an evening. Like, that would chunder away to itself for a whole evening from a £100 deposit on 18p spins, playing like garbage. It won't take £300 off you in 25 minutes. It just can't do that on 18p spins. So, whilst I absolutely do not want to say to anyone who's not minded to gamble, oh, go and play at Slots Temple, it's great. What I'm saying here is, if you're already a player, if you like to have a bit of a punt, I would, and this is where I'm at with this now, don't play this shit in the pubs. Fucking where you're playing £1 a spin, £2 a spin to get 90%, 92%. That's absolute toss. And apparently at Desert Island Fruit, some of the guys there have been saying that they're knocking them down in the pubs even further now in the UK. And they're seeing 88% and 86% in the pubs, which is fucking diabolical. So, do be aware that this place exists. The feedback from the Baptism of Fire over at Casino Meister is good from the playing community there, so I would expect them to become accredited in due course. Once a casino becomes accredited at Casino Meister, they sign up to certain standards of behaviour, they have an active rep on the forums, any player disputes Casino Meister will get involved with you and help you with that dispute, that kind of thing. But nothing so far has gone wrong. And can you see they do have a active rep on the forums who is liaising with the player community over at Casino Meister. The reports coming back are that yes, indeed, as per their RTP guarantee, all of their slots are running the top RTP models, and there's been no problems with, the money side of things, deposits and withdrawals and all the rest of it. Unfortunately for me, I can't actually deposit there. It has let me make an account, but because of my Isle of Man IP, it doesn't let me actually deposit and play. But this is available to you as a UK player. Why play games on 90%, 92%, whatever it may be, or even online, 94%, when here you're going to be getting, generally speaking, you're going to be looking at 96% plus. Some stuff only exists in like a 95% maths model, but you would at least get that 95% maths model. I will just repeat myself one more time. That's not saying go and have a gamble if you don't want to have a gamble. That's just saying if you want to do it, which let's be clear here, gambling is a regulated legal activity in the UK, and here on the Isle of Man, it's something that we're allowed to do as adults with our discretionary spend. It's not like we're doing anything shifty or illegal or anything like that. But if you're going to have a go, if you think you fancy a go on a random game with a house edge and try your luck, for me, now, I think this shit is, Ocean's 11 is not too bad, but they're very, very much now on their way out here on the Isle of Man. There's very few of these left to play. You are far, far more likely to find these bloody tossy things. You saw that one. That fucking thing do an absolute piece of work on me last night on the £2 spin. So I think these are going to have to go in the bin. I don't imagine I'll be taking £300 cash out with me next time I go to the pub, because I've now thought, you know what, those are a waste of money. If I want to have a little bit of a gamble, have a little bit of a punt, I'm going to do it on games like this where I can get really solid RTPs. Not as volatile as that, but if you have a look around at video slots, there are plenty of games on the books there that are running at 96% or higher. If you're a UK player and you don't get offered all the games that I do at video slots, do be aware that Slots Temple is a thing, and certainly at this moment in time, they are running this RTP guarantee where they say we will absolutely always run the top RTP model. And I went through that in quite some detail in that video, that as a player, if you're going to have a go, if you're going to have a gamble, please do understand how really, really important RTP is to you, because in the long run, it will be the single biggest defining factor in how much money you lose and how quickly you're going to lose it. And if you can get your head around the fact and be okay with the fact that ultimately it's going to cost you money, but you can still have some fun along the way and you can still land some monster wins like that. I have to be honest, that was quite exciting. When I saw that wild line land and then realised it was let's just go back a little bit. When I saw that land and realised that not only was it a wild line, it was a double wild line, and that I had multiple spins left where I was guaranteed £126 a spin on an 18p bet. That was pretty good fun, and far more fun than all of this fucking nonsense that's proliferating in the pubs now. So that's a slightly long-winded way of flouncing and saying I quit, isn't it? Never say never, but after yesterday, my headspace now is I don't think I can be arsed with that anymore. There was something about the brutality of that £300 takedown there that I've kind of turned my face against it. And whereas before I was kind of rationalising it in my head, oh, it's only once in a while. Yeah, you've got to play big bets and the RTP's a bit shit, but it's a bit of fun here and there. After yesterday, I'm minded to think that's not the case. And there's no reason today why I shouldn't still have £300 in my pocket instead of just having tipped it into that bloody machine in there for no fun, no return, no reward, nothing. Just feeling a bit pissed off and thinking, well, that was fucking useless, wasn't it, at the end of it? Just another one to have a little quick look at before I round this one off. Here's Genie Jackpot's Wishmaker over at Video Slots. Now, this is the one with the progressive jackpot on it. You can play this from as little as 10p a spin. Whatever your bet is, the RTP remains exactly the same. I like to play this one on 20p spins. Can you see what the Jackpot King jackpot is up there? £945,000. Yeah, I realise your odds of winning that are billions to 1. But you've got the Regal pot. It's very small. The Regal pot got won a few days ago. That one goes up to £35,000. The Royal pot goes up to £3,500. I do actually know someone who's won the Royal pot on this. I know someone personally who had the Royal pot when it was £1,000 and they got £1,000 on it. But if we have a look at the RTP on this, can you see? 95.57 off the actual slot itself, and then you put an extra, or you get an extra 0.5% essentially from the Jackpot King bonus round. And the way the Jackpot King bonus round works on this is it's not just you either get one of those or you get nothing. It's a whole separate bonus round that it goes off into. It comes up reasonably regularly. And if you don't get one of the progressives, which I never have, but if you don't get one of the progressives, you still get a win of somewhere between 20 and 500x. I have had 500x off the Jackpot King bonus round, and I've had quite a few wins in the 100 to 200x range on that Jackpot King bonus round. So it's not just the progressives or bust, but you can play this on 20p a go, get 96% RTP essentially, and have an outside chance of winning a couple of grand or thousands of pounds. I have seen that up over £1 million before it's been won. So someone out there has won like 1.2, 1.3 million pounds off this. And even though, I mean, to be clear, never, ever, ever expect that to happen, but it's there as a possibility. And frankly, it feels almost as likely as ever landing a natural £500 jackpot on one of these fucking things. So I think I've made my mind up. For me, I think I'm done with these fuckers now because I'm annoyed about yesterday. It's pissed me off to just hose through £300 that quickly. I think it's taking the piss, and I don't think those things belong in the fucking pub, quite frankly. So I am going to take my business elsewhere. I'm going to take my discretionary gambling spend somewhere that will give me a bit of a better run for my money. And for me, I think that will be the online casino space, because I don't think I'm going to do those anymore. So, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. I will catch up with you next time, but going forward, I do not think there will be any more videos of me playing these piles of fucking shite in the pub. That's it for now.